Hi, everybody! Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive into the thrilling twists and turns awaiting us in the week of July 28th to August 1st, where Michael Corinthos faces a pivotal decision. Emma Scorpio Drake teams up with Giovanni Palmieri for some clever plotting, and Martin Gray uncovers intriguing intelligence that could shake things up in Port Charles. Kicking off the drama, Jack Brennan delivers fresh directives to Jocelyn Jacks, prompting her to navigate a brewing storm involving her mother, Carly Spencer. This update stems from Anna Devane's recent heart-to-heart with Carly, which has unearthed unsettling doubts about Vaughn's true character and intentions. Imagine Carly, ever the protective parent, treading carefully to avoid coming across as overbearing in Jocelyn's romantic affairs, yet she can't help but voice her growing apprehensions. To add layers to this intrigue, Jocelyn might find herself embellishing Vaughn's virtues more than ever, especially under Brennan's insistence that they amplify their fabricated romance. Perhaps she weave in fabricated tales of shared adventures or heartfelt moments to sell the illusion, all while grappling with her own mixed emotions about the charade. This scenario could lead to tense family dinners where Jocelyn deflects Carly's probes with charm and deflection, highlighting the delicate balance between loyalty and deception in the Jacks family dynamic. Shifting gears to matters of the heart, Willow Tate stands at a crossroads, determining the future of her wedding vows. It seems increasingly likely that Willow will hit the pause button, ultimately choosing not to proceed with marrying Drew Kane, a decision fueled by revelations that have shattered her illusions. In a creative twist, envision Willow reflecting on past joys and heartaches during a solitary walk through the Quartermaine Gardens, weighing the impact on her children and her sense of self. Meanwhile, Cody, Belle, and Tracy Quartermaine receive word that brings them unexpected delight, possibly the fallout from Drew's disastrous wedding plans turning into a full-blown catastrophe, complete with last-minute cancellations and whispered scandals. To expand on this, Tracy might revel in the chaos with her signature wit, sharing a celebratory toast with Cody over how this upheaval aligns with their own agendas, perhaps even plotting subtle ways to capitalize on the disarray for the Quartermaine legacy. In a gesture of compassion, Elizabeth Baldwin extends an invitation to a new lodger, transforming her home into a sanctuary amid the turmoil. This could very well be Willow seeking refuge after parting ways with Drew's household, offering her a fresh start surrounded by supportive friends. Picture Elizabeth preparing a cozy guest room with thoughtful touches like fresh linens and family photos, fostering an environment where Willow can heal and rebuild. Later, Alexis Davis embarks on a quest for clarity, her frustration boiling over as she contemplates the emotional toll on young Scout Kane, whose innocence is caught in the crossfire of adult betrayals. Alexis might corner Drew in a heated confrontation at the Metro Court, demanding a blow-by-blow account of why the nuptials imploded, her legal mind dissecting every detail to protect her granddaughter's well-being. This pursuit could unearth hidden motives, like unspoken attractions or buried resentments, adding depth to Alexis's role as the family's steadfast guardian. As the ripples of wedding drama subside, Nina Reeves convenes with Curtis Ashford and Portia Robinson, navigating the aftermath with a mix of apologies and alliances. Curtis steps up, owning his part in Willow's explosive reaction to Nina's concealed truths, expressing genuine remorse for the pain inflicted by exposing her secrets prematurely. Nina, ever resilient, might brush it off with a knowing smile, acknowledging that the revelation was inevitable and her own confession was on the horizon anyway. To enrich this scene, imagine them gathering at a quiet cafe overlooking the harbor, where Portia draws from her own experiences with long-buried secrets resurfacing like her past deceptions about Trina's paternity to extend empathy and solidarity to Nina. Portia's words of wisdom could include practical advice on mending fences, perhaps suggesting anonymous gestures of kindness to rebuild trust, underscoring themes of forgiveness and redemption in Port Charles's intricate web of relationships. Delving into mystery, Martin Gray stumbles upon compelling data that promises to unravel larger enigmas. Following his perusal of a cryptic letter intended for Monica Quartermaine, Martin dives deeper, perhaps enlisting discreet investigators or poring over old family archives to trace the sender's identity. This discovery might connect to an emerging plotline involving Monica's long-lost sister, a figure shrouded in decades of estrangement and unspoken grievances. Inventing a fresh angle, Martin could uncover faded photographs or forgotten correspondence hinting at a shared inheritance or a scandalous affair that fractured their bond, fueling his determination to extract more revelations. His sleuthing might involve late-night stackouts or anonymous tips, positioning him as a key player in unearthing Quartermaine family skeletons that could alter alliances and fortunes. Returning to Nina, spoilers tease a covert maneuver on her part, executed with utmost secrecy. This could manifest as Nina discreetly monitoring Willow's emotional state, perhaps through subtle inquiries via mutual acquaintances or even a hidden vantage point at a public event, all to gauge her daughter's resilience without direct confrontation. Alternatively, simmering grudges might propel Nina toward retaliatory actions against Drew, like leaking anonymous intel to sabotage his political ambitions or business dealings. On a parallel track, Willow vows something significant, which might revolve around exacting her own form of justice or, more poignantly, assuring Michael of her final break from Drew to salvage their family unit. This promise could pave the way for negotiations over child visitation, with Willow proposing structured co-parenting plans that emphasize stability, but only if Michael consents, adding tension to their already strained dynamic. Amid these choices, Michael Corinthos confronts a weighty resolution, his path intertwined with familial loyalties and personal ethics. Concurrently, Jason Morgan launches an intense inquiry, grilling Liesl Obrecht for every nuance surrounding Britt Westburn's supposed passing. Jason's relentless pursuit might include revisiting crime scene reports or witness statements, piecing together anomalies that fuel his suspicion of foul play. Extending his efforts, he enlists Elizabeth's expertise, leveraging her hospital connections to access restricted medical records or surveillance footage from Britt's final hours. In a speculative edition, Jason could discover overlooked clues like a mismatched autopsy detail or a mysterious visitor log, bolstering his conviction that Britt is Olivia truth we know holds water. This revelation culminates in Jason confiding in Anna Devane, perhaps over a clandestine meeting in the park, where they brainstorm strategies to confirm and expose the deception, potentially drawing in other allies for a broader investigation. In legal circles, Rick Lansing secures a new patron, diving into an unfamiliar case that promises intrigue and high stakes. This client might be a shadowy figure from Port Charles's underbelly seeking defense against charges of corporate espionage or inheritance disputes, allowing Rick to showcase his sharp courtroom tactics. Envision Rick preparing in his cluttered office, reviewing case files late into the night, his mind racing with strategies that could intersect with ongoing town dramas. Finally, Emma Scorpio Drake shares confidential insights with Gio Palmieri, igniting a joint venture filled with mischief. Their collaboration might involve infiltrating Professor Henry Hank Dalton's laboratory under the cover of night, driven by curiosity about experimental research or hidden artifacts. To heighten the excitement, picture them donning disguises and using makeshift gadgets for the break-in, whispering plans that blend thrill with budding romance. As their scheming intensifies, Emma and Gio forge a deeper connection, their shared adrenaline possibly leading to a spontaneous kiss amid the shadows, setting the stage for a youthful love story amid the chaos. Next, we will explore the escalating tensions in Port Charles as whispers suggest Jack Brennan's time in town could be drawing to a dramatic close, potentially tied to a web of deception and danger surrounding Sonny Corinthos. Rumors are swirling that Jack Brennan, the enigmatic figure who's captured Carly Spencer's attention, might soon vanish from the Port Charles scene, with storylines accelerating to write him out in a blaze of conflict. To heighten the stakes, imagine Brennan getting entangled in the lingering enigma of the explosive blaze that ravaged Sonny Corinthos' luxurious penthouse. A fiery incident that left Michael Corinthos nursing serious injuries and the entire family on edge. This plot twist could unfold with anonymous tips flooding in, pointing fingers at Brennan as the mastermind who orchestrated the chaos to eliminate threats and protect hidden agendas. Adding a fresh layer, perhaps leaked surveillance footage from a nearby building shows a shadowy figure resembling Brennan lurking near the penthouse hours before the inferno, fueling speculation and forcing characters to question loyalties in unexpected ways. Delving deeper, it's been uncovered that the destructive incendiary device was deployed by the shadowy operative Selinsky, whose deep connections to the World Security Bureau WSB raise alarms about international intrigue bleeding into local rivalries. In a creative expansion, Selinsky might have left behind cryptic clues, like a discarded burner phone with encrypted messages linking back to WSB headquarters, hinting at a larger conspiracy. Similarly, the hired gunman who targeted Sonny during his tense Los Angeles escapade shares those same WSB affiliations, suggesting a coordinated effort from within the organization to silence the mob boss permanently. To invent an intriguing element, envision a whistleblower from the WSB anonymously contacting Anna Devane, providing partial dossiers that outline a pattern of assassinations tied to Sonny's past dealings, making it plausible that a rogue faction within the Bureau is gunning for him to settle old scores or cover up corruption. Brennan's presence in Los Angeles at the exact moment of the assassination attempt casts a long shadow of doubt, especially since he swooped in to assist with the cleanup after Brick heroically thwarted the killer and saved Sonny's life. Expanding on this, perhaps Brennan's help involved tampering with evidence at the scene, like subtly altering security camera angles or planting misleading alibis, which now backfires as forensic experts re-examine the details. Anna Devane, with her sharp investigative instincts, begins piecing together these threads, forging undeniable links between Brennan, the elusive assassin, and the devastating penthouse fire. In a new twist, Anna could recruit a tech-savvy ally like Spinelli to hack into WSB databases, uncovering encrypted communications that place Brennan at the heart of the operations, painting him as a potential double agent whose charm hides a deadly intent. As Anna's probing intensifies, she corners Sonny for a candid interrogation about the fire's origins, planting seeds of suspicion that grow into full-blown paranoia. This conversation might take place in a dimly lit warehouse, where Sonny recounts the chaos with vivid flashbacks, his voice laced with rising anger as Anna presents circumstantial evidence. Sonny, ever the vigilant kingpin, starts to absorb the implications, realizing that Brennan could have been the puppet master pulling strings against him all along. To add depth, Sonny might reflect on overheard whispers or subtle betrayals, connecting the dots to Carly's budding romance with Brennan, suspecting that the attacks are a twisted bid to isolate her or exploit her vulnerabilities in a larger power play. Further complicating matters, Jason Morgan unearths a critical tie between Selinsky and Brennan, perhaps through a clandestine meeting with an informant who reveals shared financial transactions or mutual contacts in the underworld. This discovery forces Sonny into a corner, compelling him to seize control and confront the perceived threat head-on, his trademark intensity bubbling over into decisive action. However, beneath the surface, the true architect of these crimes is masterfully framing Brennan, desperate to shield their own identity and maintain the illusion of innocence. Inventing a shadowy element, this real culprit could be a long-forgotten foe from Sonny's past, like a vengeful associate from his early mob days, who uses forged documents and planted evidence to redirect blame, ensuring Brennan becomes the perfect scapegoat in a game of cat and mouse. The climax builds as Sonny, fueled by conviction that Brennan orchestrated the attempts on his life, storms into a confrontation armed and ready for answers. Picture this showdown in a secluded docks warehouse under the cover of night, the air thick with tension as Sonny demands the truth. Brennan, cornered but composed, adamantly rejects any involvement in the penthouse blaze or the Los Angeles hit, his protests echoing with a mix of defiance and desperation. In a heightened detail, Brennan might appeal to Sonny's sense of honor, recounting his own brushes with danger to humanize himself, but Sonny remains unmoved, his grip tightening on the weapon. Escalating the drama, Sonny brandished his gun, pressing for a confession under threat of lethal consequences, his voice a low growl as he warns of no mercy for betrayal. Brennan raises his hands in surrender, reiterating his innocence with unwavering conviction, perhaps even offering alibis or counter-evidence to sway the narrative. Meanwhile, Jason pulls Carly aside in an urgent sidebar. laying out the mounting case against Brennan, including his alleged role in Michael's injury and the broader plot against Son, urging her to face the harsh reality. Carly, torn between disbelief and dread, probes Jason about Sonny's awareness, learning the volatile truth that sends her racing to intervene. In a race against time, Carly charges toward the confrontation, with Jason hot on her heels. Their footsteps pounding as they burst through the door just as the sharp crack of gunfire shatters the silence. The scene freezes in chaos. Has Sonny pulled the trigger, sealing Brennan's fate in a moment of rage? This pivotal shot could leave Brennan wounded but alive, gasping for breath as Carly screams in horror. Or perhaps it's a warning blast into the air, heightening the suspense. Adding an inventive twist, the bullet might graze a nearby crate, sparking a small fire that mirrors the penthouse incident, symbolizing the cyclical nature of vengeance in Port Charles. Next, we will uncover the explosive fallout brewing in Port Charles as Drew Cain faces a shattering betrayal at his own wedding to Willow Tate, setting off a chain of vengeance, revelations, and potential deadly consequences. Tensions reach a boiling point for Drew Cain, who might soon experience a devastating shock right in the midst of his wedding vows with Willow Tate, transforming what should be a joyous union into a public spectacle of heartbreak and fury. With the truth about Drew's scandalous affair with Willow's own mother, Nina Reeves, now exposed in all its sordid details, Willow could choose the dramatic moment after gliding down the aisle to unleash her pent-up rage. In a reimagined scene, picture Willow, adorned in her elegant white gown with delicate lace accents symbolizing shattered innocence, halting the ceremony mid-vow to declare that marriage is impossible after such profound deception and endless fabrications. Drew, caught utterly off guard amid the gasps of assembled guests in the sunlit Quartermain Mansion chapel, desperately attempts to salvage the moment with smooth-talking pleas and promises of redemption, perhaps even fabricating excuses about momentary weaknesses or external pressures. Yet Willow stands firm, her resolve unbreakable as she storms away, leaving Drew isolated at the altar, his face a mask of stunned disbelief that quickly morphs into simmering resentment, fueling dark thoughts of retaliation against those who orchestrated his humiliation. This crushing rejection at the hands of Willow propels Drew into a deeper spiral of malice, igniting a ferocious quest for destruction that targets anyone standing in his path, particularly intensifying his vendetta against Portia Robinson with ruthless precision. To amplify the drama, envision Drew retreating to a dimly lit office overlooking the harbor, where he pores over incriminating files and plots escalated demands, perhaps threatening to expose fabricated evidence of Portia's professional misconduct to regulatory boards unless she complies. Curtis Ashford, haunted by his decision to reveal the affair's secrets to Willow, finds himself regretting the chaos he's unleashed, especially as it spirals into threats against his family. In a fresh, inventive twist, Curtis might confide in a trusted ally like Jordan Ashford during a tense midnight stroll through the park, vowing to shield Portia from surrendering to authorities over her tampering with Heather Weber's medical tests, which could involve altered blood work results hinting at fabricated illnesses. Drew's unyielding drive to inflict suffering on Curtis grows more obsessive, pushing Curtis to the brink where he contemplates extreme measures, like enlisting underground contacts to neutralize Drew permanently, all while grappling with the moral weight of such a drastic choice in the shadowy underbelly of Port Charles. A pivotal shift occurs when Kai Taylor stumbles upon the harsh reality of Drew's manipulative nature, prompting a profound reevaluation of his allegiances and a potential path toward atonement. Overhearing a heated exchange where Drew viciously corners Portia with ultimatums, Kai pieces together the full extent of Drew's aggressive campaign against her and Curtis, realizing his grave error in previously feeding Drew intel about Curtis's schemes. To enrich this revelation, imagine Kai eavesdropping from behind a half-closed door at the hospital lounge, his expression shifting from confusion to horror as snippets of conversation reveal Drew's plans to dismantle lives through blackmail and intimidation. Stricken with guilt over aligning with the wrong side, Kai could decide to make amends by secretly gathering counter-evidence, such as hacked emails or witness statements that expose Drew's overreaches, aiming to tip the scales back toward justice and perhaps even approaching Curtis with an olive branch to collaborate on thwarting Drew's rampage. In a sinister turn, Drew resorts to coercion to reclaim what he's lost, wielding blackmail as a weapon to force Willow back into his arms under the threat of devastating revelations. He corners her with the damning secret of her involvement in the psychological manipulation of Sasha Corbin, warning that he'll spill every detail to Michael Corinthos unless she recommits to their fractured relationship. Expanding creatively, this confrontation might unfold in a secluded garden gazebo under a stormy sky, where Drew's voice drips with calculated menace, detailing how Willow's gaslighting tactics, perhaps involving planted doubts about Sasha's sanity or fabricated scandals, will destroy her family ties if exposed. Willow, reeling from the shock and left speechless by the audacity, finds herself ensnared in a web of fear, desperately scanning for escape routes while pretending compliance to buy time. Her mind racing with plans to confide in allies like Nina or Michael for a way to dismantle Drew's leverage without further casualties. The tide of terror Drew has unleashed across Port Charles finally catches up to him in a climactic act of retribution, where he meets his downfall through a mysterious shooting that leaves the town buzzing with speculation. Having antagonized nearly everyone with his escalating cruelty amplified by Curtis's actions that only fuel the beast within, Drew becomes a prime target for those seeking vengeance, culminating in an ambush at his opulent home where an unseen attacker strikes from the shadows. To invent a gripping detail, picture Drew lounging in his study surrounded by luxury furnishings like leather armchairs and crystal decanters, oblivious to the intruder who fires a single muffled shot that fells him amid scattered papers detailing his schemes. This poetic justice serves as payback for his litany of misdeeds, from betrayals to blackmails, leaving viewers to ponder the identity of the shooter. Could it be a desperate Curtis, a redeemed Kai, or even a scorned Willow orchestrating from afar? The incident ripples through the community, with residents whispering in coffee shops and boardrooms about the relief of his potential demise, though questions linger on whether this is truly the end or just another twist in Drew's tumultuous saga. What twists lie ahead? Could Drew's behavior spiral into even darker territories, alienating more allies and amplifying his threats? Might the roster of enemies gunning for him expand, drawing in unexpected figures from Port Charles's fringes? And in the end, will Drew indeed face a fatal shooting, reshaping the power dynamics for good? Keep watching ABC General Hospital as these intense storylines unfold with unrelenting suspense.